Welcome to Poul's Kitchen. This is Chef Paul with Chef Amy.
Yep, I'm here.
Everybody say happy birthday, Chef Amy. So today we're going to be making a homemade marinara sauce. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because in a few days I'm going to make some Bake City. And Bake City is one of those things that's really, really awesome. And of course I got the wrong pot on here. We're going to be using the wok.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
So in order to make Bake City, you need to have a marinara sauce. You can use spaghetti sauce, no big deal, but marinara sauce is so much better, and I'm going to show you a really simple and easy way to do this. Anybody should be able to do this, it's not that hard. So I'm going to take my wok here, and I'm going to put some oil. Now this is a little bit of an oil-heavy recipe. So where we're using a wok, what we want to do is we want to coat the sides of it. So we just take the sides like this, and we don't put it directly over the oven, because if you're like Amy and have an oops moment,
The stove, yeah.
when you put it over the stove, you can cause a fire. So it's pretty important. So we're going to let this heat up a little bit first, and what we're going to do is we're going to take one really large onion, we're going to cut it up. Now, it could be a raw cut, it doesn't matter, because what we're going to do at the end, instead of using the food processor, we're going to put this through the blender. So once this heats up a little bit, we're going to start putting some onions in here. And it's also great too, because this is going to give Amy a lot of dishes to do later, which Amy likes.
I don't mind.
So we're going to cook these until they start cooking down, start getting a little translucent. Marinara sauce is great. You can use this for, you want to use it for a pizza sauce. You might want to spice it a little differently than I'm doing. You can use it for a spaghetti sauce, lasagna sauce, any type of meat sauce. And if you're cooking Italian, believe me, there's a million different ways to do it. But we're going to predominantly use this for baked ziti. I had Amy buy me 4 cans of this. I'm only using 2 for this right now. Probably make more later. Not a big deal. It's going to be really good. It's really healthy. Now, when we're talking about tomatoes, now number one, if you have a garden and you're growing your own tomatoes, you want to be using that. Those are the greatest tomatoes you're going to get. You will not get any better. I promise you that. Just let this cook. I'm going to put the cover on here.
Yeah.
Canned tomato, or fresh out of your garden tomatoes is the best one you can do. However, with that being said, I want to make sure that I'm clear in saying this. If you don't have a garden like us, or most people, don't buy like the fresh tomatoes on the vine. A lot of times they soak out the nutrients out of them. They're not as good. They're not as fresh, and it's not worth getting. What you want instead is you want to get canned tomatoes. We're using canned crushed tomatoes. They're already blended, so it's not a big deal, but we're putting this through a blender anyways. If you don't own a blender and you have a food processor, instead of cutting the onions up like this, what you want to do is take everything and then put it into a food processor. And if you don't have any, just cut it down as much as you can. I really urge you that everybody should have at least a food processor. It is the most important kitchen tool that you're ever going to have. You can make amazing burgers out of steak, right down to just cutting the skin off of the garlic, cutting the ends off, cutting it in half, throwing it in the food processor and blending it. It'll cut it right down to almost a puree. It's really, really important to have. Any of your vegetables, it's really important. So we're letting steam come in here, and you can see that it's starting to cook. And that's where I want it to be. I want it to start steaming up. This won't take incredibly long, but we do want our onions to start to go a little soft. You don't want to caramelize quite yet, but we do want them to go soft, which they're pretty much doing now. So that's what I want. Now I'm going to take some garlic. That is 2 whole cloves, or not cloves. Those are 2 whole pieces of garlic. Why? Because Amy and I really like our marinara sauce to have a good garlic base. It's also extremely healthy. Now, if you're somebody that's not really into garlic, that's fine. You don't have to be. No one's going to judge you for it. That's 100% perfectly fine.
It's just what we like.
That's what we like. You know, I would use at least 3 cloves. And yes, again, it's not exactly that cut down, and that's fine, it will. If you don't get crushed tomatoes, that's fine too. Get like whatever, you can get the other ones. Diced, whatever you want. If you're putting it to a blender, it's gonna blend it down anyways, not a big deal. So we just want to give this a little bit until this starts cooking. I'm gonna give it maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. Marinara sauce does not take a long time to make. And you don't have to be Italian to appreciate it. I love marinara sauce.
Yeah, it's good.
And you know what? It's even better when you make it yourself. Most people don't realize that. When you buy it store-bought, it's not quite the same. They put preservatives in it.
Sugar.
They put a lot of sugar in it. It's not as good. Preservatives are great if you're planning on putting it back in the fridge for a while. You get the kind you can screw on, use some, then use some a week or two later. I'm planning on using this right away. And this is going to be phenomenal. Alright, so that's pretty happy with that. So, now I'm going to take my can of crushed tomatoes. I'm just going to put a little bit of water in there because we do need a little bit of water. I am skipping one thing that I a little bit forgot, but that's alright. It's not too late.
What did you forget?
Wine.
Oh! They're putting a little bit of my wine in it.
Yep. It's almost done.
Are you going to use all of it?
Maybe not all of it. Now, one thing with this is you want to be stirring right away because it's going to start bubbling, and sometimes you can really get hurt by doing this. And where is the other cans? Did you buy another can, or did you only buy 2?
I only bought 2.
No, I asked for 4. That's all right.
I think we do have another one in there. But it's in the back. It's not crushed, but
It's going into the cook process.
yeah, so we'll do. Oops.
For the record, I did give Amy printed instructions of what I wanted.
And I hope that doesn't bubble over.
So we're going to put another one in here, and this is going to bubble. So this one is diced, not crushed. So, and that's fine because when we're done, this is going to go into the blender anyway, so it's not a big deal. Just going to put a little bit of water in there. When you go to throw that out, you always want to rinse them out so that you're getting a lot of that stuff, you're getting a lot of the bad stuff out. You want to get the product out so you're actually getting that. Alright, so we have spices that I had to even bring down.
Oregano.
So that's oregano. And this is basil. And just to be different, this is optional. You do not need to do this. This is Chinese red chili peppers. Yes, it is not Italian. I do understand that, but this is what we have, and it's really good. It's going to make it a little hot, but not bad. Amy does like a little bit of spice to her food.
Yeah.
It's not going to make it explosively hot, but it is going to make it really good, though.
Yeah.
So I want to take a moment, stir this up a little bit, because we got one more ingredient, well, 2 more ingredients to add. So I'm just going to do that now, I guess. This is low salt, so it's not exactly extremely salty. But we want to make sure we're mixing this in here. Now, if you're making this for pizza or spaghetti, there's other spices you can put in this. So you kind of know what you're doing. Some people want to put tomato paste in there to make this thicker. If I was going to do this for a pizza, I probably would dump a couple cans of tomato paste to try to help it come down a bit. I'm going to put some pepper. You always want pepper. Pepper is amazing. Yes, I like a lot of pepper.
Yeah, you do.
So we're going to stir this really good. And see, it's not really taking a whole lot of time. It's not.
No.
It's where it comes out pretty darn quick, and that's what we want. The onions, the garlic, the fresh spices there, it's going to... Any of you have access to get those spices like oregano and parsley and basil fresh? Like, hey, do it, because it's a lot better. I'm going to take a spoon here and try to determine if we need something else. No, you know what? This is spot on. This is absolutely perfect. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the cover over here, and we're going to let this sit for a couple minutes. So I'm going to put the cover over it, so it is going to boil. I'm not going to show you us blending it, putting it away. You don't need to see that. I'm sure you have better things to do with your time. I do have a nice little bite to it. Not hot enough that I'm going to say I won't eat it, thankfully, because we're making Big City over the weekend, and I really want to enjoy it. Not share with Amy.
Share with me.
I gotta find a nice birthday spanker. I'll get a wooden spoon over there. Amy turned 63 this week.
No, I didn't.
How old do you turn?
43. But you don't tell, a woman doesn't tell her age.
You just did. Huh?
Yeah, but you shouldn't ask me on camera.
I didn't ask you. I said you were 63. You volunteered your age, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't she look awesome and hot for 63?
43.
Doesn't she look awesome, guys? Send Amy a message on Facebook, WhatsApp, wherever. Say happy birthday. So if we can see through here, you're going to see it starting to bubble up, and that's good. We don't want to leave it too long without stirring it, because it is going to cause problems. When I say cause problems, I mean more towards getting sticky or whatever. I mean, Amy likes sticky, but that's not the point. She likes her hot cross buns, stuff like that, because they are sticky. Amy will come in her hands, will be just sticky. She likes sweets, but we're making her something that's not so sweet. You do have to be careful with your salt on this, because you do need to put some salt in. Tomatoes have a really bad habit of absorbing, so it does do that. So I think I'm done with that anyway. We're pretty much done now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a really big spoon, and we're going to bring the container over for the blender, and we're going to pour it right over this, because you're going to make a mess. and you don't want to make a mess because it's it's one of those things that's going to be a really big pain in the butt if you do. So I think we're done here. We're just going to take a quick taste test. Before I go further, guys, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. I really appreciate that. Amy cries at night because more people don't. Open up, Amy. How's it taste?
Excellent. Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect. And you know what? It doesn't cost that much. These are like $2, so that's $6 worth of
canned tomatoes.
Canned tomatoes. Maybe $1 for your onion. Maybe $1 for your garlic. Spices you should already have at home. If you don't, go get them because you're going to use them for other things too. If you have the chili peppers, great, use them. If not, if you have wine, I would really suggest a white wine. Red's a little heavier for this, but just but use a white wine if you can. But that's you don't have to do that.
No.
I would. That's my biggest suggestion. It will give a lot of different flavors, but if you don't have it, I'm not saying go out and
buy it.
And buy it because wine's kind of expensive these days.
Yeah.
But a little bit of wine is going to give it a lot of flavor. Guys, I don't drink. Amy does, but she's not a drinker per se, but she will have a little bit here
Occasionally.
and there. Occasionally. She's not a drinker, right?
No.
But when you're cooking with alcohol, it does enhance the flavor. It is good. So please hit that like, share, subscribe button. I hope you guys enjoy it, and you have a great day.